Happy Metal New Year. We have just entered a brand new decade in 2020 here. I think that's kind of cool and kind of epic. So I want to come on here today and talk to you guys about making New Year's resolutions for guitarists and musicians and songwriters. When I say resolutions, I always think revolution. You know, the very end of Eyes of a Stranger by Queensryche. Oh, and make sure you hang around to the end of the video. I'm actually going to share some specific resolutions that I have, and I think that will resonate with you as well. The first resolution I want us guitar players and musicians to make is get the hell out of our comfort zone. Now, I am preaching very loudly to myself, and I'll explain more of that in a few seconds here. But the first thing I want you to think about is to get out of your comfort zone is to just try some new things. Don't be afraid of trying new things. I can tell you from experience, as we get older and progress, we're really apt to get stuck in our comfort zone because it's kind of that mentality of like, well, I've always done things this way, so I'm gonna keep doing it. That's the right way. And it's like, no. I don't ever want to have that mentality because that's just a crappy mentality to have. It doesn't mean throw away everything that you've been doing. What it means is just be willing to step out and try some new things to see if it works better for you. Now, I'll give you an example, and this is a very subtle change. These don't have to be huge changes, by the way. These can be just some subtle changes. One thing I just changed is what type of pick I use. You guys may have saw this on my Facebook and Instagram account a few days ago, but I've been using, and again, this is a subtle change, but kind of getting me out of my comfort zone. I've been using the 0.60 and 0.7, what is this, 7.3 or 7.8. I've been using these thinner picks for practically like as long as I've been playing guitar, since like 1990. Wow, it's a long time ago. But I made a decision to ditch those picks. Oh, I just hit the camera. That was cool. And I started playing with a thicker pick here. This is actually a heavy pick. It's an Ernie Ball heavy pick. I guess that's why they call it heavy metal. That was a bad pun. But just started using a thicker pick. And what got me hooked on this is I went to a good friend of mine's house last weekend, and I played through his EVH 5153. It's the EL34 amp. And I'm like, man, it's an awesome amp. But he didn't have any thin picks. I guess he doesn't play with thin picks. So I just picked up one of his thicker picks, and I'm like, wow. I was just amazed. I always thought thinner picks would help me pick faster and play leads more fluently, but I was just amazed by the heavier picks. So I happen to have one here at my desk. I don't know where it came from. Maybe a little elf came and put it there for Christmas, who knows. But anyway, that was just a subtle change I made, and I'm using that as an example for you. You know, some of the changes, there may be some major changes you have to make to get out of your comfort zone, yes, but some of those changes may not be huge. It may be just like little things, like trying a different string gauge. I encourage you to kind of step out of that comfort zone and just try some new things. The second resolution for us guitar players and musicians is use full range of motion. Now, some of you are like, Jason, what does that mean, dude? That doesn't make any sense. Now, those of you who lift weights and are into bodybuilding, that sort of thing, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is a gym term. Use full range of motion. You know, if you're doing a movement, let's say you're doing just a push-up or bench press or whatever, if you don't go all the way out, or if you don't come back all the way down and use that full range of motion, you're cheating yourself out of growing new muscle tissue. You're cheating yourself out of getting stronger. So I like to use this terminology. I love to use a lot of the bodybuilding terminology and carry it over into real life, or our real life is music life, which is a cool life, by the way. What I mean is when you start something, finish it. See it all the way through. Don't stop in the middle, or don't start today and then tomorrow decide, well, I'm not going to do this anymore. No, guys, make a firm decision, make that firm commitment on what you're going to do and see it through from start to finish. And I'll tell you why this is so important. And again, this is, I'm sharing some of my failures with you here. I'm really going to open up to you guys. This is one of those things where a lot of us have ideas throughout the day, and we can have like 100 ideas, but we'll never start those, right? Most of us don't start any of those. Think of how many ideas you have every single day. How many did you start yesterday? How many did you start today? Probably none. If you did start something, type it in and tell me, and I'm going to hold you accountable to make sure you see it all the way through. Full range of motion. Because without that full range of motion, you're not going to get that full effect of growth and strength. Okay, and again, this applies to really anyone, to all areas in life. But, I'm super guilty of this, guys. Again, I've been recording and writing music for a long time, but a lot of times I'll start like a project, I'll start a thought and I'll write it down, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And then I get like right here, and it stops, and I should be way over here, but I'm still here. And for whatever reason, it's easy to start things and get to that certain level, but we hit bumps in the road, and we hit questions. It's like, okay, well, I don't know how to do this, or I don't have the means to do this. You know what, guys? Full range of motion. Figure it out and just keep pushing and pushing and pushing until you get to that full range of motion. So I hope this makes sense to you guys, but just see it through, guys. Whatever you start, see it all the way through. And I'm not saying you have to finish it today, because sometimes it's a project. And if it's something like a project where it's going to take time, then you know what? Write out a timeline. Break out the old school pen and paper and write out, like, okay, Monday, I'm going to start this part of my project. Tomorrow I'm going to spend an hour working on this. Okay, Wednesday, well, I'm not going to have time Wednesday, so I'm going to skip to Thursday. Thursday, I'm going to do this, and then next month I'm going to be here, right? So schedule it out, commit to that project, commit to whatever you're working on, but remember, full range of motion, start to finish, see it through. Number 3 is cut out your bad habits. Now, I'm going to share a bad habit that I've had for a while now, and it's kind of embarrassing, it's kind of gross, but before I do that, here's how you cut out your bad habits. As soon as you start that bad habit, right, as soon as you feel that thing coming on, you start doing that thing that you shouldn't be doing or really want to stop, don't think so much about the act of that habit. Think more about, why am I doing this right now? What am I feeling right now? Like, really search deep, search those emotions, search deep inside. I know we're kind of getting some cool Zen and, that kind of stuff, but no, search deep within, and why am I doing this? Because that's what you need to address more so than the actual habit. Address that, address the why, and you'll be able to get rid of that habit. So what does Jason do that's bad? Guys, I've been doing this for years now. I tend to bite my fingernails, or not the actual fingernail, but like the hard skin between your fingernail and your fingers. The camera probably doesn't show it too well, but I bite the edges here, and I know it's disgusting and it's horrible and I want to stop. But this year it's been really, really bad, and I had to stop and think. It's like, okay, why the hell am I doing this? I'm getting tired of doing this. I got to stop. And, I kind of chalked it up, when I kind of did like a deep dive within, I chalk it up to really just anxiety. I've been anxious about a lot of things. I am getting ready to leave my corporate job the end of January here that I've been at, almost 14 years now. And I'm kind of putting myself out there as a full-time, musician. And I think a lot of you know that I also have a small marketing business. I've got a fitness website called themuscleprogram.com that I've been running for a long, long time now. All that being said, though, that's why I've been, doing the nail biting more this year, just the anxiety. So I'm trying to find ways to control that so that I stop biting my fingers off, because I need these for, guitar playing, obviously, and I write a lot as well. So I need my hands. So search deep down when you find yourself going towards that bad habit. Stop the habit right away. Search deep down. Why am I committing this horrible habit? And what do I need to do to address that so that I can stop the bad habit? We've got 2 more to go, guys. And number 4 is focus. I really want you guys to focus this year. I want you to start right now and focus. And what I mean by that, I'm going to ask you a question. When's your next scheduled guitar practice? When is it? How long is it going to be? And what are you going to practice? If you can't answer me right away, you're not focused. And I'm going to tell you why. Because when you sit down to play guitar, when you sit down to practice, if you really want to get better and you sit down to practice, you need to know what block of time you have, and that time needs to be interrupted. It needs to be uninterrupted. That means anybody in your household, they're not allowed to bother you during this time. That means you need to put the cell phone away. I'd put mine away right now, but I'm filming with it. No internet, no nothing. This is your time to practice your craft, and you need to know what you're practicing. So you need laser sharp focus to do that, guys. And I want to encourage you to have focus on whatever it is you're doing at that time. Now, Let's transpose that to things that are really important in life, like spending time with your significant other, your spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, your family, your good friends and all that. When you're with those people that you care about, that you love, when you're spending time with them, make sure you're there in the moment, guys. And I'm guilty of this too. Again, everything I'm talking about today, I'm kind of sharing a lot of my failures over 2019. I'm super guilty of that. Even sometimes with my wife, it's like, we're doing something together and then I find my mind start venturing off. I need to write this blog post, man, I got these ideas, I should jot these down now. Or, man, I need to check my social media because I like to respond to you guys. I really want to respond to all your comments. But you know what? I need to do a better job at, during that time that her and I are spending together, when we're actually doing something together, I need to just get rid of everything else going on and just really zero in and focus on her and our time at the moment. Same with your friends or your dog. I guess your dog probably, yeah, they want quality time too, and your cats. But no, seriously guys, focus, zero in on that one thing that you're doing right at the moment and focus on that. Now, to add to that, multitasking is the stupidest effing thing I've ever heard of, because it is not relevant, it's not feasible, and it would just send you into the disaster zone. Almost sounds like the danger zone. No, I'm serious. I see a lot of companies push this. Like if you go apply for a job, it's like, must be good at multitasking. I feel like saying, screw you. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Because if you're trying to do different things at one time, nothing will get 100%. So again, whatever you're doing, like right now, you're watching this video, focus on the video. After this video, maybe you're gonna practice guitar, for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, focus on that. Maybe you're gonna do some songwriting. Maybe you're gonna go spend time with your significant other, whatever the case is. But whatever you're doing, guys, focus. I can't stress this enough. Focus on that one thing and pour 100% into that one thing that you're doing at that moment. I want to add one more thing to the focus part, guys, and I think this is important. I was going to move on to the next tip here, which that would be short, but I want to add one more thing to this. Don't create a lot of busy work just to be busy. And this is something I've struggled with over the years. I found myself like, well, I've got to be doing this and doing something, that's catered to my business at all times. And I've gone weeks, sometimes even months at a time, just working on a bunch of stuff, but I was working on the stuff outside here, not the core of what I needed to be working on, not the core that's going to grant me results, because I was kind of afraid of that core sometimes, right? I was kind of afraid that like, well, that's a little bit difficult. I'll get to that. So I'll do all this other stuff out here and I'm super busy and I feel good about myself. I feel accomplished because I've been busy. That's a lie too, guys. That's a total myth. You can do 100 different things out here and you can work 12-hour days if you want and still not accomplish a damn thing. So make sure that, yes, you're focused, but focus on the right thing. Make sure you're focused on that thing that's going to give you the results that you're looking for. Number 5 New Year's resolution for us guitar players and musicians, and please listen to me on this, guys. Do not be afraid of failure, okay? Do not. Failing is not a bad thing. I'm not saying go out there and do something stupid that's going to make you fail, right? But don't be afraid of failing when you're trying for greatness, when you're pursuing something, when you're trying to get to a certain level. And if we go back to the first 2 resolutions we talked about, which I forget what they are, that's why I have a notepad. I'm kidding, I didn't really forget. Well, I forgot what number 2 was. Okay, so getting out of your comfort zone was 1. Number 2, we talked about full range of motion, going all in, doing things from start to finish. When you do those, I promise you, you will fail, right? You'll probably fail more times than you want. In fact, I'll say if you go through 3 months with no failures, it can be just small hiccups, maybe something, some grand failure. Doesn't matter. If you go that length of time with no failures, you're not pushing yourself hard enough. So get out there, try new things, right? And do the best you can. Be confident, be prepared, practice, but don't be afraid of failing, guys, because that's how we learn, okay? That's how all of us learn. We learn through our failures. You think of a baby trying to walk, they fall down how many times? I couldn't tell you, but they eventually learn how to walk. And some of those people, grow up to be like marathon runners or deadlifting 1,000 pounds or whatever. So they learn to use those legs over time. After many failures, they didn't give up. So don't be afraid to fail, guys, because if you fail and then you quit, then you fail. Okay, that's failure. But if you fail and then you kind of sit back and say, you know what, I can see where I went wrong here, and I can see, you know, what I need to do better. Let's fix that and let's try it again. And you keep doing that, you compound that, and you will eventually get to the place that you desire to be. As I promised you in the beginning of the video, I'm going to share you 4 detailed resolutions that I have on top of what we just talked about. Notepad again. So I don't forget what they are. One thing I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna declutter. I've actually already decluttered my studio. You guys can't see the whole thing, but I just had a bunch of like crap in here I wasn't using, so I got rid of it. So declutter, I think that's gonna not only help, you know, declutter physically, but it's also gonna help you mentally as well. And I've already noticed, like, since I've decluttered my studio, it's like, man, I feel a little bit more free. I'm free. Second thing for me is I am going to stress less. I'm going to slow down a little bit, and that doesn't mean I'm going to work less. I'm probably going to end up working a lot more. You know, I told you guys earlier about the changes coming up with me, you know, walking away from my corporate job and, you know, and really focusing on music and my other business full time. But you know, what it means is I'm going to stress less because the things I'm going to focus on more are going to be just those really, you know, truly important things, right? I'm not going to create busy work for myself, you know, and I'm just going to do the best I can. I challenge you to do this as well. Just do the best you can at those core things that you know that's going to drive results, and don't worry about the rest of the stuff, you know. Look, it'll fall into place. I hope anyway. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create more music. So everything music related, I'm going to just have more of. So that means more music for you, more metal for you, more videos, all that good stuff. In fact, we talked about branching out of the comfort zone. I also want to do some workshops at music stores. So if you're affiliated with a local music shop, or you know the owner or something like that, and you'd like to have me come out there and, you know, and give like an hour workshop, you know, on how to play metal riffs, how to write metal music or something along those lines, you know, feel free to reach out to me, and of course reach out to the music store you're affiliated with, and definitely we can work something out. Now, the other thing I'm going to do more of in 2020, I'm going to drink more beer. I'm serious. I love craft beer, guys. I think most of you know that. And I'm probably going to do something professionally with that at some point in the near future, because I really appreciate the taste of craft beers. So yeah, I do plan to try some more new beers this year. In fact, in a couple of days, I'm going to have the episode number 50 of my metal and beer series. So stay tuned for that. That'll be out in a couple of days. So guys, that is our 2020 resolutions for guitarists and musicians. I hope this helped you. And please feel free to leave your resolutions, your specific resolutions, in the comments of this video. And I know I posted a video earlier today, right before this video, and I should have talked about this in the beginning, but that is a full-blown how to create your pro home recording studio right here in a small room like I'm in. But I actually collaborated with Ken Condelis. He's the founder of the band Homeric, based out of New York City, and he's a professional audio engineer. He does some freelance work for Good Morning America. So definitely catch that video. Just look at the video, you know, right before this one, and definitely give that a watch. It's long, but it's extremely detailed. It's like 42 minutes long, but it's extremely detailed. So, you know, when you have some time to focus, when we talked about focus, definitely check that video out. You will gain a wealth of knowledge. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope again that you have an awesome new year, awesome 2020, and I wish nothing but greatness for each and every one of you. And until the next video, as always, keep it metal.